What's good? It's 2019 already, guys. Another year has come and gone. 2018 was a pretty good year for fights. I got a couple fights that I really wanted to see. The fight that I most wanted to see for 2018 was Lara versus Hurd. And I knew that style matchup would just be so good. And for my money, that was the fight of the year. We also got Sor Rungvisai versus Estrada, which I got to witness live. Probably my best boxing moment of the year. We got Canelo versus Golovkin 2, and I'm happy that fight happened, even though the controversy of the drug test. I'm glad Canelo stepped up and fought Golovkin in the middle of the ring like he promised. And of course, the last big fight of the year was Wilder Fury. That fight just had everything, man. Fury moving like a lightweight, and him coming back from what looked like a knockout. He was knocked out on the ground and he came back. I don't need to tell you guys this. You all know this, but 2018 was pretty good. Not too great, but it was a very good year. A couple fights that I'm already looking forward to in 2019. No huge fights yet, but Davis versus Mares. That's a really good fight. It's going to be at the StubHub. I'm probably going to make it in that fight. Try to watch it live, February 9th. Pacquiao versus Broner. Though Broner gets another shot at another superstar, another big fight, even though he doesn't deserve it. He just got arrested, and nobody seems to care from his side. Nobody seems to threaten him that he's going to stop getting big fights if he keeps getting in trouble. But I digress. This should be a good fight, and seeing Adrian Broner get whipped could never get old. He does not deserve this fight, though. A couple smaller fights. Omar Figueroa against John Molina. This is going to happen on February 16th. Just a couple fights that I saw on ringtv.com before making this video. And Anthony Peterson versus Sergey Lipinets. You guys know Lipinets from the guy that gave Mikey Garcia all he could handle at Garcia's 140 debut. And Peterson, man, he's a veteran. This should be a good fight. No huge fights yet, but should be some good fights so far. All right, a couple fights that I really want to see this year, that I think that need to happen this year, is Hurd versus Lara 2. A couple rematches first to start it. I think Hurd should give Lara the rematch that he wants. Lara seems to want it. I thought that Lara would probably retire right after this fight, but he didn't. So Hurd should give Lara the rematch. And I think we're going to have another great fight, but this time I think Hurd's going to end it early, hopefully. Wilder versus Fury 2, of course. We need to see that fight again. Run it back and see what adjustments these two guys make. I feel like you're either in the school of, yeah, Fury's not going to get caught. The second fight's going to be even easier. Or, as Haplotype 0 put it, Wilder already knows what Fury has to bring. Fury fought the best fight that he possibly could have on December 1st. And there's no adjustments that he can make because that's the very best of Fury that we got. But it wasn't the best of Wilder. So that rematch needs to happen. Keith Thurman is coming back. I'm looking forward to see how he does against Josecito Lopez after so much time off. But the fight I want to see is him rematch Porter. He owes him a rematch. First match was good. I thought Porter got robbed in that fight, but a rematch got to happen. Maybe after this one. I doubt Thurman's going to fight 3 times, so I really doubt this fight's going to happen at all, but it should. A couple more fights that I really want to watch. Hurd versus Munguia. Hurd seems like a guy determined to fight the best, so after he's done rematching Lara, I think he's completely healed from his shoulder injury. He could fight the youngster Jaime Munguia, Black Margarito versus Young Margarito, and that fight would be fireworks. And if this fight took place around December, November, October, after Jaime Munguia has already fought 3 times, and I hope that Munguia stays active. I hope he stays fighting people like Navarrete, guys like that could give him some rounds, because he needs to stay active. Activity is good for a fighter. He should stay in training camp year round. I think he fought something like 5 times this year. He should keep that schedule, baby. Keep that schedule, and I think he could be heard with a couple more fights under his belt. Even if he fights Hurd next, I think he'll still give him a great fight, and I don't think Hurd will knock him out. There will still be a fight that I want to watch. Canelo versus Lemieux, David Lemieux. And this fight would probably have to be at 168, because Lemieux is literally killing himself to make 160. And I don't mean to laugh at that, but man, Lemieux has been struggling to make 160 for years. It's time for him to move up, and Canelo has a belt at 168, so there's no reason that fight shouldn't happen. That'd be fight of the year for me, man. That is the fight I wanted to see more than Canelo versus Golovkin, because it's a great style matchup, guys. Speaking of big fights, good style matchups, Errol Spence versus Crawford. I think this is the biggest fight in boxing, and the fight that I most want to see to happen today. Crawford versus Spence. The winner is the best fighter in the world, and I will go anywhere across the country to watch it. Hopefully it's in Dallas. That would be awesome. I would love to go to maybe Cowboy Stadium. I don't think this fight's that big, AT&T Stadium now, but I would love to go to Cowboy Stadium to watch this fight if it's big enough. Otherwise, LA. I'm just getting my hopes up. Las Vegas. I'd go to Vegas for this fight probably. This is the only way I go to Vegas is to watch a big fight. I ain't wasting my money otherwise. Jacobs versus Charlo. That's another fight I want to see. And after Charlo's last fight, people want to say that it's going to be an easy night, that Canelo and Jacobs would have an easy night against Charlo. And I got to say, you guys are underestimating Charlo now. Before he was overrated, now he's underrated. You can't really tell from one fight, guys. You can't really tell, but that's just the way it is, because fighters are so inactive these days. That's a big problem. They struggle once a year, but they only fight twice, so half the time they fight, they look rough. That's how it looks like. But Charlo is still an elite level fighter, and he could beat Jacobs. I think Jacobs would beat Charlo, but it won't be an easy night. Speaking of Jacobs, I want him to fight Canelo next. I hope Canelo... I don't want to say I hope he doesn't fight Golovkin, but that fight's probably going to happen, and I wouldn't mind it. It's not on my wish list. I've seen it twice. It's a very good fight. I don't see it ending another way besides Canelo knocking out Golovkin in the third fight. Which, okay, I'm alright if that happens, but I'd rather see Canelo fight new opponents. Canelo versus Lemieux or Canelo versus Jacobs would be very interesting fights, and fights that Canelo could lose. Yes, Canelo could lose to Lemieux as well as Jacobs. Now with the little guys, Oscar Valdez versus Leo Santa Cruz. Now, Oscar Valdez is one of my favorite fighters out there today. And just imagine a fight against Leo Santa Cruz, guys. Talk about fireworks, talk about volume, talk about pressure. This fight would be very exciting. And first we got to see how Valdez heals from his jaw. He just had a broken jaw in his Scott Quigg fight, and he's with a new trainer now. So I'd like to see how he heals and how he adjusts with Eddie Reynoso now. I hope Eddie Reynoso could fine-tune his style into a guy that doesn't have to use 100% of his power with each and every punch. into a guy that could be a little patient, that could be okay with jabbing and moving around. And I think he's learned in his last couple fights that he's not going to be able to overpower anyone, that he is going to have to move, to use his jab, to use his feet. And he could do that. He's a guy that could do that already. But I think Eddie Reynoso could really help him with that. And a fight against Leo, guys, that's exciting. Also, a fight against Frampton would be very cool. Even though he just lost to Farrington, I think a fight with Frampton would be a good test, kind of like the fight with Quigg would be a good test. Just these fights with elite level guys is what Valdez needs. He needs more experience. He needs to go rounds. But first, he needs to heal from his jaw injury. Another rematch, Srisaket Sor Rungvisai against Juan Francisco Estrada 2. These guys haven't been inactive since their first fight, which was last February, but they haven't fought the best competition since their first fight. So it'd be interesting to see how each of them adjust to a second fight. I don't know if their opponents were chosen purposefully because they were similar to each other's styles. I really doubt it was that purposeful because they didn't seem to have an easy time in Sor Rungvisai's case, and in Estrada's case, he kind of seemed like he wasn't very interested, that he didn't train that much, and in one of those fights, he nearly lost. So they haven't done much, even though they fought. They haven't done much since their first fight, and I don't see this fight going differently than the first. I see another good fight, but another fight that Sor Rungvisai should win. I thought Estrada won in the first fight when I saw it live, and after seeing it again, I saw that Sor Rungvisai won. So it was one of those fights that was close, but I thought after watching it a second, third time, that Sor Rungvisai clearly won, and that should happen again, unless Estrada could start earlier, because by the 12th round, he was winning those rounds clearly. Estrada needs to start early. And the last fight is not the fight that I want to see most, but I'll end with the heavyweights. I want to see Anthony Joshua fight a top heavyweight. I want to see him fight Luis Ortiz. So Luis Ortiz is the best heavyweight besides the big three, the Wilder, Fury, and Joshua. It's Luis Ortiz behind them. And I want to see Joshua fight him. I don't want to see him fight White. We already saw that fight. If he fights White, I want to see him fight White after he already fought Ortiz. I want to see a White-Ortiz fight. If Joshua's going to fight White, I want to see White beat Ortiz first. I mean, of course, Wilder could sell out arenas regardless of who he fights. He could fight Carlos Molina, for all I know, and it'll still sell out in London. But I think Luis Ortiz deserves it. If he doesn't deserve it at this point, I think he'll definitely deserve it once he beats Dillian Whyte. And I think he does beat Dillian Whyte. I want to see Ortiz at least have one more big fight, one big title shot before he retires, because he's very long in the tooth. He's at least 40 years old, guys. Thank you guys for watching. And what are some fights you guys want to see in 2019? Peace.